Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the G.I. Joe Vintage Night Force team, the entire toy line. This is kind of a tough one to collect, one of the hardest subgroups to collect, mostly because of the fact that it was a Toys R Us exclusive. They made far less than regular figures, and the fact that they, even though they're just repaints, the parts and accessories are what really get you in this, and now it's wildly popular to try to get a set of these when it wasn't so popular back in the day. But anyway, we're going to get into looking at this. We're going to look at the customs. I've got a few customs in here of unreleased items and black majors and all that kind of stuff. But let's take a look at each one of these. I cheated a little bit when collecting these. I'll talk about that and more on this Retro Wednesday coming up. All right, first one up is Repeater, and I think that this one has become the most expensive. And by the way, I'm not going in any order. I'm not doing 88 first and 89 second. I'm doing it all over the place, so just based on which ones I had on my shelf where. But he's got all the same stuff as the version 1, except he's got his accessories in black. And I probably should tighten up that screw. His head's a little loose. But, and again, as most collectors or people on YouTube that show them just in cases, and they don't use their accessories. They're not on there. I think it's more fun to see them displayed with their accessories. And so how this works is there's this little port there that you connect this weapon to, and I think people are after this guy mostly because he's getting harder to get, but he's got that Aliens thing. It's like if Aliens collectors like having him in their collection because he has that gun from Aliens for the most part. Here's the V1 version next to him, so you can see the difference in contrast in the color scheme and color changes. So that's I had fun. I put a little tan stand on that one for Repeater, and yeah, a little bit of fun right there. But to me personally, he's one of my least favorites in the line, just to be honest. And I did get him less than 100, so my goal was to get all these for less than 100. I didn't do that for all of them, that's for sure, but he was one of them. And their weapons, I mean, they look almost the same. Now experts are going to say, well, one's shinier than the other, and there's all these different cues to tell. I don't care. I might actually just have two V1s weapon sets. Next up is Muskrat, and I think Muskrat, well, he's historically been one of my favorites. Let's get him in frame just a little bit better there, but I like Muskrat. So, as you can see, he's got some blue and black and green, and his overall look is pretty cool. So this upgrade, not all the upgrades are really all that great. Some are a little drab. His boogie board's cast in black. He's got some gray paint that will get rubbed off because this boogie board goes into his back. And there it goes. And most of the time I like to display them, on their boogie board kind of thing, but it is what it is. And now this is where you cheat a little bit. His machete is also included with a 90s figure. It's the Stormtrooper figure, I believe. Anyway, mine might be from that. It might be. And then there's this gun, which I believe is the correct gun. I'm looking at the V1. It's the same looking gun. So there's that. And yeah, so overall, I think it is a pretty fun little figure. But let's bring in the V1 and see the difference in the color schemes. And as you can see, their color schemes are different. And yeah, my original plan was to have them stand on their boogie boards as their stand, but then kind of their feet get covered and you don't notice their boogie board, so I think it's better as a backpack. I think it is just for display, for my display purposes. Anyway, this one is Muskrat. A whole lot of fun. Next up, we've got Spearhead, and Spearhead is a good-looking figure. Overall, he does have all the same accessories as the first one, just repainted and recolored. It's different colors. And he's got his black Bobcat instead of, well, let's look at the Bobcat. So we've got black Bobcat instead of this color Bobcat. But we'll see all that here in just a minute. And again, now I cheated a lot with these, but with him, I paid up, and it was stupid. I had him for under 100, and then I had to get the correct helmet. I've had the wrong helmet. So one of the things you can do, I think you can get the Fun School version, and that helmet looks close to the Night Force, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, I think that's what people do to avoid paying $60 for just a stupid helmet. I think I got mine for 40. Still, I cracked the 100 mark on him because of that one thing. But let's bring in his little buddy over here. Now, a couple enhancements. So it really doesn't make sense that his ammo belt is the same color as his shirt or vest or whatever. Over here, the ammo belt, the ammo is actually painted in, and it's the straps painted and the ammo's painted. So that's a massive improvement for the figure. And this is, so people talk about neon. This is neon. This is more neon 90s in 1980, whatever, 7, whenever he came out, 8. So that's something there. Now, I never was a huge fan of this figure back in the day when I was a kid. But looking at it right now, I think the Night Force one is way better. And I'm not going to say that about all of them. Next up, we've got Shockwave. And now my story for the Shockwave, he was the cheapest because I already had him. I didn't have him from my childhood. Somewhere along the line, I just picked him up somewhere, not knowing he was even Night Force, not caring about Night Force. Just saying, oh, I think he's a cool looking Shockwave. I thought he was like, 2000s or something. In the late 90s, they did all those recolors that to me felt like there was no point to those, but stuck him in my whale because my whale's my favorite vehicle. And I liked him that much that he was in my whale for years. So when I set out to try to complete these, he already had him, but didn't have all his accessories. So tracking down his accessories was a little costly for me. And there's his knife. Now here's his standard knife. And I had that. I had to track down his knife. So I had a standard knife. I still keep it with him just because I just, for fun. Then later on down the line, there's another figure, big something or another, I think, that has his knife also. They're different. To me, I don't care. I would have been happy with them, but if I found an original, I think it was like $16, which to me was a heck of a deal for just completing a figure. That's all you needed. But let's bring in this one here, and I'm going to tell you, people are going to probably get mad at me or disagree with me or whatever just because he goes for some money. Which, what did I do with the backpacks? Do I have one of them upside down? I have one of them upside down. So is this, which one's upside down? How do you even do that? I don't know. All right, I don't know what I do with the backpack. One of them's upside down. One of them's on there wrong. Anyway, I think the original V1 looks better. Yeah, I think the original one looks better. And for that, it is what it is. Doesn't mean I don't like this version, but I still think the problem with the original one though is that blue discolors so bad over time, and like you can see his elbow. And I bet you, I just always look at his chest thinking it's discolored, but I think that was the intentional color. Anyway, Shockwave. Next up is Lightfoot. I think I'm still stuck all in 1989 right now. I don't think I've done anything from 88 yet. But I'm just going in the order that I store them on the shelf, because as I'm done, I put them back on my shelf. And I'm sure I had some reasoning when I set up my shelf why I did what I did. Anyway, he's got all of his accessories, but in black. And he still has these little pieces, which I think I had to source. I think I got mine without that, and I just had to get an original one. So I think they're the same. And I took it off of an original one. Same with the little robot. It's a way to do it cheaper. That's how you can get them cheaper. If you find stuff that has issues and fix those issues. But then again, like, were they the same color hologram or the same hologram? So I might have that wrong on mine. I don't care. I stayed under $100 on them, so that was my goal. And here we go with this one, which is like a $20 figure with all of his accessories and complete, like 20, maybe 30. And so he's got a little red robot. This one's a little black robot. Got a blue helmet versus this other all black. So pretty cool looking figure overall. I never was a huge fan of the figure, and I always confuse this one for Scoop all the time. And if like I don't talk about G.I. Joe or look at it for a while, and I'll see him and I'll think he's Scoop again. Just it's always, my mind always goes back to thinking he's Scoop unless he's got all of his equipment on. But when he doesn't have his equipment on, it's just a bare bones figure, I always think he's Scoop for some reason. Oh, this is the yellow jumpsuit. Well, I don't confuse him for any of the other ones in the yellow jumpsuit. Anyway, this is Lightfoot. He seems kind of heavy. Next up, we got Crazy Legs, and with all of his stuff on, his strap, it's really hard to get him kind of standing with his legs side by side. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I have trouble with that. So I guess it always looks good that he's jumping. He's about to jump, or he's. I guess you can get a knee up here, like he's jumping. Don't lose your gun. That was dumb of me. But yeah, he has the web gear, is what they call it. But it's web gear or just his parachute strap, whatever you want to call it. But it does go around his waist. A lot of people will not do this. They won't risk messing up their parts to put them on their figure. But to ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Enjoy your figures. We're all gonna die one day, so enjoy them. Doesn't matter that yours are more minty and in a container if you didn't have fun and enjoy them. But some people do enjoy them more like that. I actually enjoy mint and package. I like looking at mint and package. So there we go with that. That's just the hardest part to get right here. But as you can see, the big difference is, so with this one, I think the new one looks cool. It might just be that this figure is so ridiculously common and cheap and easy to get. So you just kind of get sick of looking at him all the time. And then this one's cool. I don't know, maybe that's it. But I didn't have him as a kid. I didn't care about him as a kid. Crazy Legs was never, one of my top figures. Just didn't seem, I don't remember seeing him in the show very much either. So anyway, with that, Crazy Legs, the Night Force one looks pretty cool. I like his, whatever that paint app is there. And yeah, it's a fun figure. Still the hardest part to get is this back piece. The stock. Now, next up on my list here is Falcon. I am not 100% complete on him, so I cheat. And here's the thing. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm cheating by not paying, whatever, $50 to get a real rotary. I probably should. And I can just plug it in right over here, one of my 14 outlets. But all right, so his antenna is actually not even from, so I could put a V1 on it, but I specifically didn't because I want to keep all my spare V1s complete. But those are still expensive to try to track that down. Getting one for Night Force is even more expensive. The backpack's not hard. The knife it's a little challenging, and the gun's not hard. It's just that antenna, which I'm okay with having a stand. Now this is from, and I don't remember the name, but another figure in the 90s had one of those, and I just put that one in there on just for fun. But the look of this guy is much different, and it's kind of a welcomed, kind of a fun. Now that I'm looking at my V1, it's disgraceful. I really need to upgrade my V1. It looks bad, yeah. So my Night Force one is in better condition than my V1 one, which is interesting. Anyway, as you can tell, they're different antennas. They're not the same exact antenna. That's because that's wrong. The correct one will be the same but black. That's what I'm trying to say. I can say it right, but yeah, it's Falcon. And another one of those controversial characters in G.I. Joe that kind of a hot rod, sort of, in a way, but less redeeming qualities than hot rod. Except we've got Outback, and I've always been confused about Outbacks because his arms, he's got like dark green sleeves that don't match the rest of them, which, I mean, the dark green, if he was dark green, that hunter green, all over, I'd have been a-okay with that. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But the fact that it doesn't match his regular garb there, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. He's got a black bandana, which is kind of cool. He is a pretty good looking figure overall. But, all right. So, what is going on with this guy? What's the difference? He's got a black flashlight. It's supposed to have a touch of like off-white paint on the front. So this flashlight might come from a later figure, which again, I don't remember the name of, but like a 90s figure had one, like a 97 figure, which by the way is also hard to get. It's also challenging to get that figure. So this does kind of make it, it's funny because it's almost like Night Force is in its own little zone where most of the accessories are hard to get. They have about the same gun. I don't know, one's shinier than the other, according to the experts out there. I don't care. Get a V1 gun and put on it, but the V1 guns are pushing $30 just for the gun nowadays. So, I mean, there's a lot of kind of issues with that. Outback's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters. Or, I don't know about character itself. I'm talking about just the figure. Back in the day, just have this dude that's just visibly larger than the rest of them. Like, bigger chest, bigger torso. Like, this dude just could kick everyone's butt. And then the stupid flashlight that disappears. It doesn't really fit in his hand very well. I mean, it's like, it makes no sense. I guess it made him dollars, but it says Survival on the chest. And then, of course, we know his name's Outback, but then so many people just call the character Survival because it says Survival on his chest. And that just is what it is. Anyway, Outback, is it an upgrade from the first one? No, I think the first one's still better. Next up, we've got Psych Out, which I will say kind of is a toned-down version of the V1. And probably way easy to produce all the parts just in black instead of having to have different color parts. Like, the first one's got so many colors to it. It's almost, again, it's another, the V1's another a 90s, neon 90s, yeah. Another neon 90s kind of deal. Get a 360 on this dude. Anyway, he's got these wrist, arm sensor pieces. He's got a giant sensor there, communication devices. Disruption in communication can mean only one thing. Psych Out's here. And there's the Neon 90s version from the 80s, but I mean, it was 88, so like 90s were coming soon. We knew the 90s were coming because of Psych Out. So like look at the no paint app for his dagger knife or whatever is right here. But on this one you get the paint app. It is just weird how they make these decisions. And then you've got, you know, 2 colors of paint hit on the over there, but you got 1, 2 on the paint strap, and then you've got this color. So it's just different how they allocate their paint hits on these. And then this is supposed to look like his chest. That's supposed to look like more shirt. Really weird. Anyway, Psych Out. I don't think this one's an upgrade, personally. Next up, we've got Tunnel Rat, and he's definitely a fan favorite. He's got a lot of support in the community. A lot of people like Tunnel Rat. I'm indifferent. I don't hate him. He's not one of my favorites. I've heard other people talk about this line and what they like to say about this that sort of bothers them is the fact that this has less paint apps on the face and you lose that kind of Tunnel Rat face look. But then he's got some other interesting things to him. We'll do a comparison. But he's alright. He's alright. He's sort of easy to get. I mean, a base figure usually goes for like 60 and then complete 150 or something. And I think I'm up. I'm definitely over the 150 mark on him now. Because I didn't get him complete all in one shot. So I wished I would have just bought him complete all in one shot. The backpack is easy, but the little flashlights are tough to get. Same thing here, but I mean, you're talking, you get a complete one of him for 50 or less all day long. He's not always complete on there, and people are now wanting stupid money for complete ones. But anyhow, as you can see the difference in looking at them, I still kind of like this green shirt, black pants look better. In all reality, I would swap the backpacks with each one of these. It would look better. See what I mean? Doesn't that look better? Doesn't the contrast of the black pants with the black backpack and then the greens, the way they work, I mean, that looks better. You can do that if you have these. I'm going to put it all back the way it's supposed to be for my own personal reasons, but that does look better, doesn't it? And guess what? Most of these people that talk about Night Force or show their stuff, they don't even put the accessories on, let alone swap accessories like this, because they're scared of doing stuff like breaking a thumb or losing a flashlight. Also note the face paint differences. So which one's better? I still like, hands down, with the black backpack. The V1 with black backpack definitely wins. Alright, next we got sneak peek, and see, that's why I like doing stuff like this. I like making videos and showcasing stuff from my collection so that I kind of put my hands on it and remember what I still need, what I'm missing. And when I got this guy, I already had his giant, whatever that is, flashlight. It's got a huge flash. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And anyhow, I've noticed I don't have his microphone in there. Now, I'm just going to put a V1 microphone in there. It's fine. I actually have one. I have 2 complete ones of these that came in that collection I got last year. But I am going to wait till I'm done, because I've got another thing I'm doing this year with that collection. And then I'll pull one of those and put it on. So I've got one. It's just got to go in there. It's a V1. I don't know the difference between the differences and stuff, but is he cooler looking than the first one? Yeah, this one, let's bring the first one in. I like this one better than the first one. And some people are probably going to be angry with me for saying that. Some people are going to celebrate that. Yeah, dude, I like it too. But another one where technically, wouldn't it look cooler if he had the green one to match that green? Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, this never was tops for me in figures. Have they made this in classified? I'm not sure. I'd have to look. So that's how insignificant the character is to me. I can't even remember if they made it in classified. So it's kind of go through the motions to get the figure. So I didn't even go out of the way to try to get another mic. Or I know I've got one, but I didn't even put it on there. Anyhow, sneak peek, kind of boring. Let's move on. All right, next we got Char, and you know, one thing I want to say is I usually make these videos and I'm all excited and having fun in the beginning, and then as I get closer to the end, I just want to get it done because I've been working on it for, you know, an hour or something. And then I'm like, yeah, I want it done. But this one's kind of fun. I'm having a good time messing with these. And the hard part is getting the figures out of my display without knocking anything else over. And to get to go back in the display, in between takes, I'm putting them back so that I don't have a huge ominous job ahead of me that I just don't want to do. Putting everything back. And I'm only taking out the comparison figures one at a time. So this one here has the blue and the gray, and he's got a helmet that is very different. I don't even think the Fun School one matches enough to pull it off. So I bought mine complete. I paid $150. I just had it pony up. It was what it was. I trust the guy had all these as original accessories. I don't care because I know there's a character down the road that in the 90s that has the same accessories. But knowing 100% that this is 100% original, the hose looks lighter to me. So, but you can get these accessories again down the road, or at least the gun, and I think maybe the hose, or you just get a V1 hose. But I know they put the gun back out. As for the backpack, it's pretty easy to get the backpack. So, anyhow, is it an upgrade from the first one? I don't think so. I don't like the gray and blue as an upgrade. It's okay. I don't hate it or anything. I think that this is striking. This looks really good. And when you think about what he's doing and the equipment that he has is silver, it makes sense. Same lenticular sticker. So anyway, Charbroil, they did, and I don't really want to pull it off, but let's see if we can just see it. I remember his hair is brighter orange. Can the camera get that? The hair is brighter orange. I don't want to pull it. Every time you pull the helmets off, you're messing with their hair. the paint app, and I just don't want to mess with it. Sure don't want to lose a helmet, that's for sure. Anyway, Charbroil, that's the end of the official US run. Let's get into some other stuff. We're going to get into a Spirit. Now, this one is either Brazil or Argentina. I don't know. But he comes with the Slaughter Marauder accessories, and that's how it looks to me. Not a cheap figure to get. Very, very challenging to get this figure. It wasn't released in the US. And some people say he's Tiger Force. But I'm sorry, there is nothing Tiger Force about him. I display him on my Night Force shelf. There's very little information. Now he does show up. I don't know. Does he show up on Yojo? I would have to look for that. I don't think I saw him on Yojo. So he is a bit of a challenging figure to get. Challenging figure to even get information about. Other than what I see in eBay listings. So there's some other ones out there that were Night Force. They did some stuff in the 90s and all that. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just getting into what I have. And mostly I just wanted to cover the original run and then now the Unproduced. Alright, so there are customs of the Unproduced figures. Lowlight, Blaster, Backstop, and Rumbler. And here's the deal. It's just fun. I didn't spend too much money on these, but more than I probably should have. So I didn't really think this custom matched what it was supposed to look like. So I got the opportunity to get a Black Major version that I think matches it almost exactly as it should be. I will give credit to Black Major for doing great work when it comes to matching the colors and all that. The figures themselves are lighter. They don't have quite as much tension in the joints. So they're not as well made as official, but as customs, they're phenomenal that somebody's making these. It's just, don't expect it to feel like an original. And maybe on some level, it's good that they don't feel exactly like an original because nobody's getting fooled by these. But they were never released, so customs are the route to go. Why doesn't Hasbro put a set of these out? Could this be something that we could get from Super 7? I don't know. But theirs is for the cartoon only. I don't know if Night Force was ever in a cartoon. I don't believe so. And anyway, let's look at the next. All right, we've got the Backstop and the Rumbler. And the custom is not an actual Rumbler figure. That's not the correct chest. It's okay. I halfway like the artwork because I'm never gonna afford real Night Force carded ever, and so this is close enough and it's fun to have it, but it's just fun to have these as kind of fun little mementos. I don't take it too serious. I mean, some people do. Some people like the custom. It has to be perfect. It has to be an actual Rumbler figure, repainted and all that, which I would have liked, but it's not the end of the world. But we'll never get these, I guess, made, so it's kind of fun to have them in there. And then this is this Payload? I'm starting to, because it came with two with the Defiant, the Payload, and then the other guys that I forgot the other guy's name. And yeah, that's how little I care. But I thought he looked cool, and I was like, yeah, that'd be cool to get him in Night Force colors. Don't know why, just for fun. I guess every figure can get made in Night Force. But you're hiding in space? You're trying to disguise yourself. Don't you want to stand out in space in case something happens? They can come get you. I don't know. Anyway, that's Black Major. And I'm not going to talk about the vehicles so much. They are cool repaints of other vehicles. Just not something that I'm going to even go after. I have really slowed, if not stopped, buying vehicles for G.I. Joe because I've got my favorites, and that's what I need. I don't need every vehicle made. But I do have the Night Striker, which is the Whale. It's my favorite, and I've got it, of course. Not cheap. That's not a cheap puppy to mess with, but try to complete. But anyway, yeah, the vehicles are cool. Cool, fun repaints. Very expensive versus their contemporary counterpart. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this look at Retro Wednesday Night Force Vintage G.I. Joe. This was the #1 requested in my poll. Thank you guys for voting in the poll, and that's why I'm doing this one now. We got a lot of other fun Joe stuff coming along in the future on future Retro Wednesdays. But what do you think about this Night Force? Do you collect it? Do you like it in the classified modern line? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and happy Retro Wednesday. Teddy Reminger out.